congratulations on this film. It will no doubt resonate so deeply with anyone who's ever been in a relationship. And so congratulations on it. I loved it. Um, what I found to be so brilliant, among many things about this movie, is the emphasis on the role men play in relationship drama. I think for the longest time, movies and TV have sort of perpetuated this myth that women are like the sole drama queens, the sensitive ones, the list goes on in a relationship. Was this a perspective that, excited you both from the page, being that it is so fresh?
Um, I, yeah. It's funny. I found that I made a movie called Suspiria a while ago, and it was a cast of like 43 women, and there were no men in the film, not one. And uh, the one man was played by a woman, and uh, everyone before when we were in prep, they were like, oh my God, it's gonna be crazy. It's too many women and their periods and oh my God. And like we got on set and the crew was predominantly male and they were insane. And the women were so chill. Everybody was like totally fine. There was no craziness. There was no like, it was the men that were so problematic and like bitchy and whiny and it was
Yeah.
crazy. So I mean, it makes sense to me that the men are usually the ones losing their shit.
Oh my gosh, totally. I think, and that's where a lot of the humor comes from in this film. A lot of it is your character sort of reacting to the absurdity. I mean, the big actual physical fight scenes are sort of a manifestation of that drama. And I just thought yeah, it was so refreshing.
Thanks.
Um, the film also does such a wonderfully honest and hilarious job at approaching sex and intimacy through a non-judgmental, dare I say, feminist lens. Would either of you like to expand on that, especially you, Adria, as your character has such a big arc, um, you know, vocalizing how much she wants to explore her sexuality and her needs and her wants.
Yeah, my character goes through what she sort of says that a death experience, not a near death experience, and she's at a place in her 30s where she's married and she feels a little bit stuck and is desperately in that need or desire to feel desire to meet different people, to kind of challenge herself and discover herself again. And unfortunately, he doesn't feel the same. So in that way, it's pretty heartbreaking. But she goes on this journey, and she really does go and explore all these different men, and kind of becomes different versions of herself in order to please, you know,
And a woman.
and oh yeah, and a woman. Sorry, and a woman. And she kind of becomes, all these different versions of herself to kind of please them, or yeah, or trying to make them fall in love with the version of her that she's creating for them. And I found that to be really interesting and also really truthful. But at the end, if she would have just looked a little bit closer and a little bit deeper, she would have seen that, she should have just worked on herself a little bit instead of hurting people along the line. But it was incredibly fun and liberating to play a character like Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so interesting because I watched this film. I'm celebrating my 11th wedding anniversary next month.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
it was an thanks. So it was a really like lovely self-reflection moment for me to watch this movie because I kept thinking too, a character like Ashley in another movie in another time, they may have just cut her off after she asked for the divorce and you never see her again. But you get to see this character you get to see the space between what it's really about in a relationship, which is that messiness about figuring out what you need and what you want. And sometimes you have to do that separately, and sometimes you have to do that together. And to see that kind of arc, I thought was so fantastic and quite profound.
You. I mean, especially for a brown girl like myself, for a Latin American woman, that does not fly in many of. I mean, I come from Guatemala and Puerto Rico. I mean, that would not fly in my culture. It's a little taboo. So to do that and be able to do that and explore, um, it was pretty liberating.
Absolutely. Dakota, I'd be remiss not to bring up all your wonderful work with Tea Time. Um, it's an entertainment company that prioritizes creativity, which is just so rare in an industry that surprisingly deprioritizes it most of the time. As you continue to grow Tea Time, how important has it been for you to continue to amplify the originality and the integrity of storytelling?
I mean, it's the foundation of my company. It's the thing I want to do most is make real, honest films that are made in collaboration with many different artists. Like, you can't say that, this one person made a movie. Like, if I go and I direct a movie, it's not my movie. It's the movie of everyone, every single person that's involved. And so, yes, right now we're figuring out how to grow and expand in a way that where that's still the foundation, while we're still honoring the authenticity of artists and protecting their integrity and uplifting newer voices. And it's definitely challenging, and we're almost 6 years old now, and I'm really proud of what we've done, but I have huge dreams for us. So right now I'm like, we're hustling hard.
Yeah, that's so lovely to hear. No, it's incredible. This is Tea Time's seventh film that y'all produced. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah. It's just like I admire it so much and just keep going. Like if we're all loving it and we all appreciate it so much, the work. I know Adria, you recently produced with Los Frikis, so you guys gotta keep doing it, keep doing all the producing. Lastly, I'd love to just quickly talk about the aesthetics because of this film. I don't know, maybe it's because I am such a ceramics. I'm obsessed with ceramics. I think I travel for ceramics. But I was thinking about this as so much of the film does take place in both your characters' homes. How do like the aesthetics and the curation of such personal places inform your approach to playing characters?
A lot. A lot for me, at least. I need the location and the environment to also reflect my character's clothing and jewelry choice and how she moves through a house. And I think from what I've seen in Adria's work, she's the same. Like, if there's a different thing when you're in a modern house and you're wearing a gown, you move differently than when you're in an apartment and you're in sweatpants. Like, it matters so much. Like, the two are so symbiotic. So it's, for me, important to like see the locations while I'm doing all the putting costumes together, because I also want to know, like, okay, well, what colors what is she meant to hide in this scene? And so does she wear colors where she hides into the background, or is she exploding in this scene? So is she in something that is opposite? Is it so that it all goes together for me.
Hmm. Very cool. Adria, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you and sometimes you get a little bit unlucky. Sometimes you jump on board on something and they don't have the location and they don't have, but then you kind of in a way, get to have a little bit more of a say of what happens in that location. You're like, wait, can I have like a Hello Kitty, toaster? And then you start adding little, like, I start adding, and even if you'll never see it on screen, I'll just start bringing little things or adding little things that are hidden for me, that it's like, oh, she's like this or like that. And like Dakota was saying, to me, it's so important because the way that someone moves in their home is so different than how they sort of interact with the world. So if there's scenes with a character that I'm playing in her own home, then I want to really showcase that, because I think people behave different in their own environments. So yeah, sometimes you really get to know what location you're in, and it like feeds everything else, and then sometimes you don't, but you can kind of hide things for your character in that regard. I remember in Hitman, I spent a lot of time in that house, and there was hidden gems everywhere, all over that kitchen.
Very cool. It's almost like physical scrapbook, like scrapbooking a space almost.
I
In
think
a
I just
way.
went overboard, and they started hiding my shit, and then it just turned into my own scavenger hunt.
So funny. Well, that's my time. Thank you so much, ladies. Again, huge congratulations on the film, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.